may notice this is a little choppily edited right here. That's because I did end this video and I actually went back live to do this real quick because I realized there was a movie I completely skipped. I kept saying 4 movies. There were 5 that I wanted to talk about. The 5th one is actually on Apple TV. It's been the discussion and really the ridicule of film Twitter for a second. And I checked it out last week. And I definitely have some thoughts on it. This film is, let me turn back this slide for a second. You've probably heard of it. It is called Ghosted, which is directed by Dexter Fletcher and stars, Chris Evans and Ana De Armas. Premise of this movie is Chris Evans plays this kind of hapless fellow who ends up matching with Ana De Armas's character. They go on this date. He thinks it's really special and he wants to get to know her, but he gets ghosted. He figures out where she is and he thinks as a grand romantic gesture, he's going to go to London and meet her and surprise her and just kind of sweep her off her feet. And while there, he discovers that Ana De Armas is a spy. And she's working for the CIA, and it's a really dangerous mission to track down this bioweapon called Aztec. So now it's the classic rom-com, think kind of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, featuring Ana De Armas and Chris Evans. And like I said, this movie has been the subject of much ridicule online, and I understand why. Here's what Ghosted has going for it in its favor. It does have Chris Evans and it does have Ana De Armas. And you think their chemistry would be really good considering they were in Knives Out together and they have incredible chemistry in Knives Out. They have no chemistry in Ghosted. It's actually kind of weird how little chemistry they have in Ghosted. You know what it reminded me of? I don't know if anyone saw the Men in Black International film with Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, who have great chemistry in the Thor films, but in Men in Black International, they don't have any chemistry, and it's such a showcase of what a director can achieve with actors and how other directors can't replicate that success. And that's what it is in Ghosted. I did not believe either their chemistry. Ana De Armas is bad in this movie. Just straight up a performer that I really like. This is one of her worst performances, if not her worst performance that I've just ever seen her give. She is so one note in this movie. Everything about this movie is just weird. Dexter Fletcher is a really talented director. He just recently, a few years ago, directed Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic with Taron Egerton, and I thought he was really good as the director of that. And in this film, like, the action's really bland. It's overly CGI. It's not interesting to look at. The story is so cliched, and I'm just like, this had to have just been a paycheck movie for him because that's what it feels like for everybody. There's just nothing to really connect to in this movie. And it's like really weird because, you at the very least, I thought Chris Evans and Ana De Armas would do enough for me to kind of just give it maybe like a light pass, or say it's bad, but it's enjoyable enough. I can't really get there on this. This film's bad. It's too long at 2 hours. None of the jokes are particularly funny. They decide to just make Chris Evans' character, Cole, just completely not only inept, but just dumb. Like, he stalks a girl and it's supposed to be romantic, and like they kind of poke fun of it, but he's just such a loser in this film that you just like, you don't care for him or when he's in danger, because he's just so self-absorbed. It feels like he's the classic nice guy. But you're just like, okay, just like whatever. Like, I don't like this guy. Like I said, nothing of this film like worked for me, and it's like not disappointing, but I was just like, I thought we were in a place where we didn't make movies this bad, where it was just like, you have a talented director, you have 2 talented cast members. This film should be watchable, and it's really not watchable. Like I said, the action looks bad, the screenplay is bad, one of the things that drove me crazy, why are Chris Evans and Ana De Armas never on set? Watch the film. Notice that, like, for a lot of the film, it does this thing where it's just, here, let me grab an example. We're going to grab Peja Stojakovic right here. Let's say I'm talking right now, and I'm looking at the camera, this is what we see of Ana De Armas. Let me put it right here. It's just the back of her head, which means it's just obviously a stand-in. Ana De Armas is not on set. And then all of a sudden it will now cut back, and it's now just him talking, but pretend I'm no longer here. It's just Peja, and now it's like the back of my head, like this. Great example I'm doing right here. And that's like a lot of the scenes in this film where I'm just like, here, I'm going to put Peja back. Why are they not on set together? This film probably cost somewhere of, my guess would be over $50 million. And they're not on set together? Like, have your actors on set for all of the film. Like, it's so obvious that they're not like on screen together, and it just like takes away even more from the chemistry. And it's just like all this, and I'm just like, oh my God, this movie feels like it was written by GPT. And it feels like it was shot in 2 weeks. There's no life to this movie. There's no energy. There's one good gag in this movie involving, what's it called? It's involving Hitman, and it's a plethora of cameos. And these cameos are funny to lesser degrees as it goes on, but for the first few, it's actually fairly funny. And then the joke does kind of just crash and burn after a while. And by the last cameo, it's just, it feels very exhausting. But like that scene, at least for like when it started, it got a good chuckle out of me. But besides that, I really can't say much else positive about this film. Adrian Brody plays the villain, and he's really bad as the villain, like really bad as the villain looking for these weapons. Yeah, there's nothing I can really say else about what's this film? I can't even remember what it's called. Ghosted. There's nothing else I can really say except the fact that it is the Apple TV's most watched film. Debut is absolutely horrifying. The fact that this is a streaming service that premiered Coda, and this is their most watched film, is just, I feel terrible about the future of cinema, but whatever, I guess. I have to accept that fact. I mean, this just feels so generic. I can't care about it anymore, and I'm done talking about it. So Ghosted, it is a 1 out of 5 stars for me.